parent tool is rules. We must specifically, clearly set up rules in our home before we go to the park, before we have company over, before we turn them loose with a toy set. You know, they need rules. They need to know what the structure is. And children actually, psychologically, take comfort. When they see rules, they actually get this sense of, somebody's flying the plane, I'm so glad. You know, but they won't come out and say that because they're wired to test our rules. So setting up rules in advance is so important. Laura, how about that? In the preschool classroom, is that important?
It's something that we always put specifically in our lesson plans at the very beginning of the year, and we have it be a collaborative effort with the children because they know what the rules should be and they kind of know how they want to be treated. They know they don't want someone to take a toy from them. They know they don't want someone to interrupt them when they're trying to speak. And so it's very easy for them to tell you what the rules should be and make it a collaborative effort. And when they're old enough to write, we have them sign their names to it, and we'll post it, and then we'll refer to it many times through the year because they're bound to forget sometimes what the rules are.
So I like what you said. The thing that really sticks out for me is that parents forget often is have the child, you said it's a collaborative effort, have the child come up with some of the rules. And I also tell parents, as well as teachers, when you're setting up rules, remember, what we're trying to do, especially in this episode, is we're doing things different, not like our parents did. Don't set up the rules like our parents did, which is, you know, I'm in charge here, you're not, now get over here and here's the top 10 rules. Instead, sometimes it's more effective you say, can you help me out here? Let's come up with some rules for this activity. Because if you come across more in a humbling way, which our parents were terrible at, if we come across as more respectful, again, that was, and this certainly doesn't blame our parents, they did what they thought they were supposed to do. They lived in autocratic times. Autocracy was about the world. Someone was always in charge. Well, we can still be in charge today without taking on that whole personification of, I'm big and you're not. And that kind of perception actually drives children to not cooperate because they feel like, oh, I'm small, I'm tiny, I can't do anything, right? In the classroom,
exactly.
The same thing?
And then that child will can turn on another child because then he might be bigger or she might be bigger than another child. So what you are doing as an adult and talking and scolding down at the child instead of talking to them at their level, eye level, they can turn around. Usually they turn around and they'll do it to somebody else. So we want to avoid that.
You know, that's interesting you say that. There was a study done in the retail industry, and they found that retail managers who were mean to their sales staff turned around and were mean to the customer. It's that automatic human thing. You know, if somebody treats you poorly, you're going to treat other people. So
exactly.
If we walk into a fast food restaurant and we're being mistreated by sales staff, I wonder where it's coming from. We might want to think about that. So it's really important what you're saying here. The good thing is to make sure that we incorporate that, incorporate the children into developing the rules. So I think some parents, some teachers, adults are afraid to do that because they're afraid the child will go, I think a rule should be we go to Disney World Wednesday, you know, because they don't know what to do. What happens if a child throws something out there that's kind of unusual or odd? But you know what? You can play with it. And
exactly.
So I've done that myself with my children to go, that's so silly. Thank you for offering that. That's a great idea. Another thing you can do is just make a list of all the rules. And then you what you can do, especially I can see in a classroom, go back over them and say, okay, everyone, is it okay to go to Disney World on Wednesday? I'm sure you'll get some kids going, no, because they know.
Exactly.
They know what's really important.
Exactly.
Okay, so the two tools, just wrapping up what we did for this segment, is understanding about talking less, saying as little as possible, and then creating rules, especially with the children. This is good. Okay, so far we've covered 4 tools in total for creating cooperative kids. Now coming up, we'll be discussing some more powerful methods for teaching children accountability. If you want your children to learn to follow through on what you ask, you want to stay with us. We'll be right back.